The Thunderbolts releases in theaters in just a few days, so in this episode of Playlog, we're building our own team of Thunderbolts out of indie game characters. Hey everybody, CGDannyB back again with another episode of Playlog, the podcast where we talk all things indie gaming, but of course, I can't talk indie games alone because that's super boring. So I've got my partner in crime, the Play Nice Kid themselves, Tofr. What's poppin', homie?
I am such a big fan of how we do these intros.
Yeah,
behind the scenes. You doing your own theme song, but like half-heartedly. This is fine.
You gotta get the pace because we got the timestamps, and the timestamps are already just like off, where they're just not correct. I'm like 20 seconds off because blah blah blah. Or I hit record before I hit the timestamps, then I gotta fix them. Or I'm hitting the button to save a timestamp too soon, and it's always wrong. But then I'm just like, if we start with this is what the intro will sound like, and then this is what the music will sound like, and then boom, Dana starts speaking, it'll all line up perfectly. And it still doesn't, but you know, it's a vibe, it's a vision, it sets the tone.
It's the thought that counts.
Ceremonious, yeah. Which reminds me, I saw a TikTok. I had Brody out before we came in to record, and this guy was just like, yo, having a girlfriend is easy. All you gotta do is take a picture of two rabbits and be like, us, and they fall for it every time. And it just made me laugh. Like, I mean, it's just like, yo, babe, I was thinking about you today. And I was just like, what's the right? I was looking around my yard, like, if I needed to take one right now, what would it be? And I was like, my neighbor has a fence. That's not great. And I was like, there's trees, but they're all just like stagnated and they're not near each other. The only other thing I saw was like my neighbors have their like pool filter out and like the chlorine tub that's it next to it. I was like, us? No, that's not good.
You should have taken a picture of the fence and be like, even this fence can't keep us apart.
That's a good one. That's good. Hopefully the neighbor's fence is still there next time I go out. If it's gone, I'll be shocked. But before we go into the episode and get our viewer questions in, we got a few things of housekeeping to hit, so give me a moment of your time. Quick reminder, are you going to be in Boston this week for PAX East from May 8th to the 11th? Well, so am I. I'll be attending PAX East again as a content creator, excited to play some games, talk to developers, and meet some more internet friends. I'll be all around the show floor throughout the weekend, as well as taking part in the Video Game Trivia Reloaded panel hosted by Jacob McCourt, featuring some other guests such as Dave Jackson from Tales of the Backlog and last year's DS panel, Shrina Smith from Gamerhead Podcast, Dan Colana, aka Dan O'Mac, Lightweight Gaming from the Trophy Room Podcast, and Steve Saylor, the blind gamer himself. The panel will be starting on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It will not be streamed, but Jacob is recording it, so it'll be on YouTube a few days after the convention ends. So, if you're at PAX East and want to show me your games or just chat it up, come find me on the show floor. Very excited. God, PAX just flew up on us. Like, I remember it was like, dude, we got like 2 months. I'm like, we leave in 4 days. Like it's wild. I got to download all the Sonic movies for Kanai and I's trip up. And then I think we're watching Shangri-La Frontier on the way back. TBD. We got to see what we can download. Okay. But yeah, that's exciting. I booked my 30-minute appointment with Devolver yesterday. So we're going to see, I think I'm meeting with the influencer team, and like, I got to come up with some questions to ask, but should be fun. I got a few appointments. I'm really excited to talk about games we're playing. But real quick, one last quick reminder, as part of our podcast, we'll be doing our monthly book club, where we go back and replay some indie classics or finally get around to some modern indies that we just haven't played yet. And for the month of May, we'll be playing One Shot. In this surreal top-down puzzle adventure game, you are to guide a child through a mysterious world on a mission to restore its long-dead son. This world knows you exist, however, and the game even breaks the fourth wall on occasion. Can you use your one shot to save the world, or is it going to be impossible? Play the game this month on Steam, Switch, PlayStation, or Xbox, then over to our write-in form in the description and give us your thoughts on One Shot for our May 27th episode of Playlog Podcast. You can join us live on twitch.tv/CGDannyB for the discussion, or catch the upload a few days later on Thursday the 29th on youtube.com/CGDannyB or audio platforms of your choice. Timestamp. What do you mean the timestamp button didn't work?
Oh no.
No. I hate this game.
We have to start all over again.
We do. We don't. We're 4 minutes 40 seconds. We got this. Hold on. We got this. This is the wrong. I can't use this page. This page got to stay. I got it. We're doing these by hand.
We're going analog.
Yep. Tails the Valiant. That got canceled. Here we go. It's like, love you, Cujo, but what am I supposed to do with Viking now? He's gone. All right. We're going to do 5, 13, intro. Boom. Done. Whatever. Anyway, on to the writing question, where it's not a writing question, but Tofr, here's this meme going around on the interwebs these days. I'm sure you've seen it. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Now, before we get to the indified version of it, could 100 men take a gorilla?
I think they would be like they believe they could take the gorilla. I'm not sure they would be able to though.
I want to see your vision, right? Because we had a discussion last night where it was like, if we're going down the line, right, where it's 1 gorilla, 1 man, fight, done, next man comes in, fight, done, next man comes in, whatever. I think the gorilla has a pretty good chance at going all the way. And I get the environment as, right? If we're in the jungle, I'm like, oh, you're fucked, you're done. If we put him in like a boxing ring, you're probably still done, but I think you have less to worry about. Like, it's just you, the gorilla, and the ring, you know? So I think it's possible that we tire out the gorilla with 100 men going one-on-one. If it's 100 versus 1 in one moment, like we're in a tabs type of environment here, I think we can outweigh the gorilla. That's 100 men, you know?
Yeah.
I think it's possible.
Can 100 egos work together? That's the question.
No, absolutely not. But I don't think they have to, because I think it's all just mass, right? Like, I was going to use ants. Ants are a bad example because I think they do have the hive mind, whatever shit ants do. But like, if 100 ants said, "Oh, that's a cute little bee," you know, I think they win. Versus like, if it's 100 men are just like, "Oh, I got a bigger dick. No, I got a bigger dick." But they just all throw their weight on the gorilla. I still think they win. They'll just argue who is the one who got the final blow.
It depends. Like, there was back when I ran a video rental store.
Actually, back when I fought a gorilla. Okay.
No, back when I ran a video rental store, I had this customer who was a big fan of Steven Seagal.
Okay, understandable.
And the reason I'm thinking of that is how she explained the evolution of Steven Seagal movies.
Okay.
Because when he was young and he was fighting like 20 guys, he'd be like going at them all at the same time and like just punching them all over the floor.
Okay.
But in his later movies, all of the men had to come to him one by one. So yeah, I guess I follow your point.
So the gorilla is Steven Seagal. I get
it. Yeah. I
mean, okay, listen. I think it's possible. I think we could do it. Now, the real question, to make it an indie-focused one, could 100 indies take a gorilla? Now, I wrote that down with no real thought of what that meant exactly, so feel free to elaborate as you see fit.
Okay.
Could 100 mice from Night in the Wood take a gorilla?
I'm guessing, like, 100 different indie characters.
I think that's where I was at, which I think is a ridiculous question to ask.
That would make the most sense.
Yeah, I think that's an easy win. You could just you get Zagreus. I think Zagreus could take a gorilla. Like,
listen. We can just take the gorilla from Ape Out.
Oh, same mindset, man. That's what I was saying. Like, we got to indify. We make it the Ape Out gorilla. Because listen, now that's tough. That's rough, because that's a gorilla right there. He ain't playing.
Yeah. No. Plus, add a jazz.
That's true. You imagine it's just like Shovel Knight and fucking who's someone just like the fucking Stardew, one of the dateable characters in Stardew, are just like, come here, gorilla. Just a giant armor door, just boom, just right into the wall. Just like, okay, you lose, you're out.
I'd actually love to see that now.
I mean, wait, can we get a mod? Chat, can someone mod Ape Out to have like the models be indie characters, or like Ape Out? Can we get Ape Out 2? Listen, what do we do here? There's an idea.
What if we take the basis from Ape Out and make it a Survivors like?
Yeah, dog. That'd be fun. That'd be awesome. If we could do like Ape Survivors, Ape Out Survivors. None of those sound great, but there's a move there.
Yeah.
I'm in. Hold on.
I mean, listen,
I'm talking to Devolver next week. Yeah. Write it down. Ape Out Survivors ?
And I do think that Ape Out was a Devolver game.
Like Devolver developed and definitely published. Definitely published. I don't know who made it.
Okay. Yeah, published.
Okay. Published. Yeah, who made it? I don't know who made the game.
Gabe Casillo and Bennett Foddy.
Oh shit, Bennett Foddy was in that bitch. Okay.
Yeah, and Maxi Boch. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, y'all lost me on that one. I'm sorry. My room smells a little funny. Forgive me for a second. I'm just gonna.
Nice.
Oh, you can't see the particles, but it now smells like air mist ocean in here.
Ooh.
I think whatever I had for dinner last night left a lingering smell, and I just noticed it now. I'm like,
oh no.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good in here. So it sounds like, yes, 100 indies could take a gorilla. But if it's the Ape Out gorilla, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe
and
not.
if it's Ape Out Survivors, then it might be...
Then it's over.
Yeah.
Eventually it's over. You know, the gorilla's got to lose a bunch to level up first, so.
That's true.
Chat, let us know what you think about the ape gorilla surviving 100 indie games as we look at 11 minutes and 18 seconds for timestamps. But real quick, we're going to move on to the indie news. We have 4 articles today, so let's get chatting. To start off, LuddoNarraCon is going down this week. This is a really cool event on Steam, very Steam Next Fest-esque for anyone who's like, oh, they talk about that all the time. It's really just an event on Steam for a bunch of dope narrative games. They have a bunch showcasing that you're going to be able to play here. Some games are already released, some games that'll just have demos for upcoming releases. Now, hold on. Are these the old ones, or are these still on this event? Because I'm seeing like 1,000 Times Resist.
This is the event that's happening this week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then like 1,000 Times Resist is on here. Great God Grove. I saw MonsterCon, banger. Curse the Golden Idol? Rise the Golden Idol. Citizen Sleeper. Yeah, there's some. Colabra, Soul Limbo. I think that is coming out. Keep Driving. We've talked about here before. Keep Driving was another cool one. And then it also includes a bunch of panels like fireside chats, and there's Unbound likes exploring a genre of games around home, grief, nostalgia, and the surreal. Have they always done these panels? I never knew that they did these. This is the first time really seeing it.
I think so, yeah.
Cool. Then I might, no, I won't be at PAX yet. I might try and check some of these out if I get the chance.
Yeah, the event ends on Monday.
Yeah.
So
this will be dope. Yeah, the LuddoNarraCon's cool. I learned about it, I think, like 2 years ago from the 6-1 guys. I never like really heard about it. I'm like, oh, this is dope. Mm-hmm. This is cool. So I think I will hesitate to respond to that because I don't know the embargo information. So nothing. Never mind.
I was amazed to find out that it's like the 7th year that they've organized.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
and,
this.
It's
like
being organized by Fellow Traveler, which is one of my favorite publishers.
Yeah, we love them. We love Fellow Traveler.
And as part of the event, the team at Fellow Traveler has also created a bundle of 10 incredible narrative games that will go on sale during the festival.
Okay. Do we know what's included in that yet, or is that to be announced?
Nope.
I assume they have the mega bundle. Yeah. Okay.
We'll find out. I think when this video when this podcast goes live, it should be known.
Mm-hmm. It would have seemed to be the case. Bet. Oh, that's cool. Hell yeah. Exciting. Yeah. Well, next week will most likely be our LuddoNarraCon episode. As I'm heading out for PAX, we'll talk about what demos we play, what we've had access to, and then go from there. But until then, be sure to check out some narrative adventures this weekend, squad.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. 14 minutes on the dot. This is super easy. Nice. Super great. Super done. That was Ludo. This is hyper easy. Boom. Speaking of hyper, Tofr. Hyperlight Breaker's first major update is taking an axe to its structure, and it sounds better for it. This one is from Osinkunke. Sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize. Over at Rock Paper Shotgun. It's been a few months since Hyperlight Breaker launched in early access, unfortunately arriving in a bit of a mess. The game just wasn't there, which obviously is what early access is for, but it was rough. Everything was just a bit too difficult, too unbalanced, and the loop wasn't strong enough to do over and over again. None of which you want in a roguelike. Developer Heart Machine have been tinkering away at it though, bringing in some much needed tweaks here and there, and now the game's first big update comes next week. This update, titled Buried Below, will be coming to the game on April 29th, which is yesterday as of recording, so this is already out. Just a few days away, a few few days ago. We'll get to the additional stuff in a moment. But first, I want to talk about the actual biggest part of the update, which is a complete rework of the game's core structure. I don't want to spend too long reading this, so let me skim just a little bit. For starters, currently have 3 lives before a run is finished. With this update, you'll get 1. When you die, you'll lose all your items, as opposed to keeping them across runs, but you keep currency, some currencies. Extracting with some items will be easier too. You can do it at any shrine you come across, and you don't have to fend off waves of enemies to successfully get out. That's great to hear, because that was annoying. The little robot companions get updates, along with a new breaker that you can play as. And then onto the part of the update where it gets its name from, there's Rondo, a new breaker, whose ability will let you boost your flash step and parry. Heading underground will eventually lead you to a new crown, the game's boss, called Maw. It's a big old evil looking dragon whose attack patterns have some Returnal vibes about them. The underground area has been kept a bit mysterious in the trailer for the update, so I can't really tell you what there'll be down there. If you find caves across the map in general now. Honestly, good on Heart Machine for keeping their daring and retooling the core structures. Jesus, I can read. The Heart Machine for killing their darlings and retooling the core structure of their game so much. It sounds like quite a radical change from what they were going for, and personally, it's tempting me to jump back in. I haven't played since launch. Bouncing off of it, it was so rough to play, so I'm quite curious to see how it feels now. Those were words. Anyway, we got through that. Tofr. I know I played Hyperlight Breaker. I don't think you got around to it, but how's all that sounding to you?
I'm hoping it'll be enough of a change,
right?
Because I remember when there was a playtest even before the early access release.
Yeah,
there were already so many complaints.
Yeah,
and the changes from that playtest to the early access release weren't big enough to like satisfy people. It's sitting at a mixed review, I think, on Steam.
That sounds right. I haven't checked in a minute.
I'm hoping that people do give it another go to see if if the updates work.
Yeah.
Because I can imagine it being difficult when you've built your game around certain systems and then you have to switch everything up.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it's a really tough thing to do as a developer.
Yeah.
And I just hope for the devs that it works out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
For the players too.
Yeah, so like I had mentioned, I got the key for the game at first, and I was really disappointed with what I got to play at launch. Like, it was just not a game I enjoyed. There was so much of like, I've played roguelikes. I enjoy roguelikes, and it's just not a roguelike I want to stick with. I have to see this change to some degree. I think my biggest thing was the lack of some of the more just standard things, like healing was an upgrade you had to do in order to like, to heal. To heal, I needed to upgrade myself, which doesn't seem to have changed based on this. I don't know if that changed in a previous mini patch or something. But like, seeing one of the major things is they're changing like the lives from 3 to 1, which if anyone hadn't seen that episode or is not sure what that means, like, you would essentially, it was almost like doing a run of Hades, where not like the revives, but you would die and start over, but it wouldn't count as a new run. It wouldn't regenerate the world. It's almost like if you ran to Zagreus, died, started back knowing which rooms are going to lead to where and what's going to be in the same spot and everything. So it never was a fresh run until you died 3 times. So it was like, it was a little, not necessarily bad, but just not familiar for roguelike games. So I was like, it felt a little dragged out sometimes. You die and trying to go back in with shitty weapons and everything. Seeing a new breaker is great. I never unlocked any of the other ones, so like I still only have just the base guy. And then hearing the new area with the new boss sounds dope. I like Heart Machine's style. I think of their 3 major games, like, one has hit with me that I still haven't even finished with Solar Ash, but like Hyperlight Drifter and Hyperlight Breakers are both ones that I'm like, I love the vibe, but I can't get with the game all that much. And I want to see this game come back and make the adjustments to be like great and what people want. So fingers crossed this is a step in the right direction. Hearing the comparison to Returnal is great because I love Returnal. That's a great one. Housemarque does some cool ass shit, and I can't wait for Sola something, whatever has Rahul Cooley in it. It looks cool.
Oh yeah, that one. I don't remember the name.
Yeah, it's Soul something, Solacrum, Sola. That's not right. Anyway, but yeah, Heart Machine, thank you for updating the game. I can't wait to see how it goes, and I sure hope this is the step in the right direction we're looking for.
I hope so.
Timestamp at 1941. 1941. Nailed it. Game Pass. Tofr, speaking of Game Pass, this Over on Ben Carey over from Pure Xbox says indie developer defends Xbox Game Pass as Clair Obscur Expedition 33 sells most on the PS5. It's no secret that Clair Obscur Expedition 33 has been doing very well for itself so far. On top of some incredible review scores, we just found out that the game has already sold 1 million copies in less than a week. Before we get started, we're going to talk about this game later. Fuck yes, this game fucks. Even if the vast majority of UK physical sales were on PS5, Xbox Game Pass seems to be having an impact on the sale then. But even so, a fellow indie developer has defended the service on social media this week. In and amongst the drama surrounding Expedition 33 sales split, Palworld community manager Bucky has been sticking up for both the brand new RPG and Xbox Game Pass's service. Palworld developer says it is very worth having your game on Game Pass as fans debate the validity of the subscription model. And then Bucky tweeted out this the same thing. It shows his tweet, which also includes, I feel like I've just a little more knowledge. I feel like I've just a little more knowledge on the topic than most. So I'll just say yes, it is very worth having your game on Game Pass. Of course, Bucky backs the stance up by claiming that he has a little more knowledge on the topic than most, which you can't really argue. Tofr, I can't fucking read. With given their experience with Palworld, the Pokemon did amazingly well on the service last year, with Xbox Game Pass giving the title lots of exposure as it exploded in popularity. Yesterday, we heard that Sincera analysts Matt Piscatello that subscription services are not the future of gaming like some first anticipated, but clearly platforms like Xbox Game Pass can really help some development teams. It also is great for us as fans too. And then Xbox Game Pass users have been treated to some incredible releases in the last service anyway. Anyway, Expedition 33. What you think about Game Pass?
I still think it's like worth the price.
Yeah,
more than worth the price. I do wonder for devs if like the majority of devs get like that same positive experience that the Palworld devs did.
Right.
Because it seems to me that Clair Obscur is getting incredible reviews, and word of mouth might be worth more than having your game on Game Pass.
Right.
Because this, like for example, Blueprints, is another Game Pass game that's getting rave reviews, but that one doesn't seem to be getting the same kind of traction.
Right.
So, what the role is in that for Game Pass, I don't really know.
Yeah, I think you mentioned already like the word of mouth thing and how like hearing people love this game is what's gonna like, oh cool, I'm gonna go check this one out, and having it available on a PlayStation Plus or a Game Pass is a great follow-up to that. Like I think we all talked about Blueprints and I was like, I'm very much enjoying it, but I'm not seeing the same level of love the world is. Like, I've played Blueprints probably another like 15 hours since we did our episode on it, and I was like, yeah dude, this game's great. Like it is fun. I've had so many runs where I get really far to get new rooms and I find things, and then I just get a wall of rooms that have no door up. I'm like, my run's over. I literally can't go any further, but I still have 30 steps. Like, can I try? Can I do anything? No, Danny, there's literally a wall. There is nowhere you could possibly go, but I still want to explore to be like, all right, just see what's around, I guess. Like, Blueprints has a fun loop that I'm really digging, and seeing the world talk about it and imagining how many people went, what is this game? Oh, it's on Game Pass? Okay. Like, that is often for me when something's added to Game Pass. Granted, I usually know beforehand if I'm interested in a game or not, and if it's something that comes out of nowhere to surprise me, I'm like, oh, interesting. How did Danny miss this one? Where'd this come from? Clair Obscur is one that was announced at like, I think an Xbox showcase like 2-3 years ago. And I was in from the get-go. It's got a Persona vibe to it in terms of like the combat. It's very stylish, has some dope angles. There's a fun like parry and dodge mechanic, which again, I'll talk about as we get to what we've been playing. But like, this game's sick. And I think it is the visual AAA quality of it, where you look at that, you're like, oh, what big studio made this? You're like, that's an indie game? Oh shit. Like, that was literally the conversation on stream this week where like we watched the cutscene, some crazy shit happened, and someone's like, wait, this is an indie? Fucking hell. I'm like, yeah, brother. Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's dope. But yeah, seeing it come out and people talking about it and then wanting to go experience it, because I still feel like I've seen so few people in my circle talk about it. I know my buddy Dave Jackson's playing, I'm playing. I'm basing on my Blue Sky and Instagram story interactions then I'm like, okay, I assume this friend is also playing because I've been simping bad for Lune, who dog, she be gliding and sliding and she hot as hell. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Guys, I love this woman. But yeah, no, the game is so badass, and I'll stop rambling now so I can talk about it later. But yeah, I think Game Pass is such a great service that I think if you have a PC or an Xbox console, like you should consider having, because it's just games are $60 now $70 a pop at any given time. So if you're like, and maybe I pay $20 a month, like if I'm like, let me get my subscription, $20 a month to play, Doom that comes out in a couple days, and then cancel my subscription because I don't need it, or be like me and just let the subscription sit because I'm going to play some months 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games. Some months I don't play any, but it usually bounces up at the end of the year. I'm like, yeah, I got my money's worth. Game Pass is worth it to me. So yeah. Game Pass. Oh man, speaking of Game Pass, timestamp 25:47. No, fucking that.
How do you continue that segue?
Easy peasy.
Speaking of Game Pass.
Speaking of Game Pass, you know what's on Game Pass? Video games. Speaking of video games, That Game Company makes video games. Hey, That Game Company launches GameJam, focus on emotional, impactful projects with Core Blazer. This one is from Samuel Roberts over at gamesindustry.biz. This is a long article, so I suggest you guys go find it yourself because I'm really gonna paraphrase here because we got lots to talk about. But Sky Children of the Light and Journey developer That Game Company has launched a game jam with games investment initiative Core Blazer themed around projects that create an emotional impact. A $4,000 prize will be available for the best overall game category, with $2,000 prizes available for each of the best visual design, best gameplay, and the community's voice award categories, respectively. Developers worldwide are invited to participate. The organizers say developers of all skill levels are invited to take part, with the goal of being to create games influenced by That Game Company's signature style, which it defines as universally accessible, deeply emotional, and designed to be played by people of all ages. The Game Jam kicks off today, which is the 28th, so 2 days ago, as this article going. With the finalist judging panel featuring That Game Company co-founder and creative director Genova Chen, director Emirates, that's not a word, of the USC game program Tracy Fullerton, and Hypergriff, which operates Core Blazer, co-founder and creative director Light Zong, amongst others. Quote, their first game jam for us is the way for us to reconnect with our roots and continue to keep pushing the boundaries of emotional depth and interactive stories, Chen tells GameIndustry.biz. Again, this is a long article, so I think that's where I'm going to wrap that part of it. But Tofr, this is cool. Game jam from That Game Company.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are in a good place to like judge whether people are making games that are like emotional and narratively sound.
Yeah.
Having created Journey, of course, and
right.
Sky Children of the Light. So it's cool. Like we need more projects like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of That Game Company. I haven't played Sky like at all. I know I downloaded the demo at one point, just never got into it. But I've played Flow, I've played Flower, and then Journey was this emotional awakening for me. I'm like, whoa, what are video games, man? This is crazy. So I love the idea that the team behind Journey is just like, let me see what games come here that give us the same spark that we got from Journey, that give us that same vibe. And I would love to see what comes out of this with like awards, not because I want to see like who wins and who's the best, but I still would love to see here's everything that was at the Game Jam and like how many 15, 16 million other games I can add to my wish list now that I'm like, oh, this looks cute, this looks fun, this looks stylized. Because then I always confuse them with Squidshock did Bow. Giant Squid Games that did like Pathless, and then their new desert surfing one that is very That Game Company style, but it's still its own thing.
Sword of the Sea, yeah.
Yes, yeah, it looks really dope, and I always just like, oh, that game. Wait, that's not That Game Company. That's the other guys. But yeah, I'm excited that they're doing this. I think having the cash prize for like indie devs, which I mean, 4,000 doesn't sound like a lot, but like for an indie developer, that's a chunk of change. You know, to some degree, that's going to help. So I love that this is a thing that's happening, and I hope they can continue to do it and see that not just the spotlight for games continue to grow, but also just the fucking attention on everything and the cash prize go up too.
Yeah. If they can make this a repeat event,
Yeah.
then surely the prize money will like evolve.
Skyrocket, dude. $2 million next year, I hear. But hell yeah, team. That's that game company. Please go read the rest of that article. There's definitely more information on there that I still have to skim myself, but that's the gist of it. You got an idea. Timestamp at 30 minutes and 10 seconds. God, I wish this button didn't fucking break anyway. Topic of the show. Tofr! This was your idea. You want to tell the dorklets what we're doing?
Of course. To quote Nick Fury, there was an idea. Since Marvel is collecting its best anti-heroes and attempting to recreate the magic of Guardians of the Galaxy and the Avengers with the Thunderbolts movie that's releasing this week, we thought it could be cool to create our own team of six indie game anti-heroes we would want in our corner when we need to get out of a bad spot. The rules are simple. Select 6 or more unconventional indie game characters who might not seem to fit together all that well. One of them will be the leader of the gang, but other than that, there's no need to choose like-for-like replacements for the actual Thunderbolts. So I'm very curious how you like started creating your team.
Of course. I started with the idea of like, I know we don't have to do one for one, like we're swapping someone for another, but I thought I'm like, okay, well I need a Bucky. And then as I like picked the Bucky, I was like, well, I also need a Red Guardian. Cause like, that's a very iconic, like we need that character. Right. So half of the team is very much like, I picked them to fit this role. And then eventually I was just like, honestly, let me scroll through my Steam library. I'm like, who would be a fun, unique one? That's not just like big gritty scary man. Like I was trying to find like John Walker, which I'm like, I got Shield Knight, but I don't want to be like Shield Knight's John Walker's a U.S. agent or whatever. I'm like, so I really ended up just like picking characters. I'm like, what could they do for a team that wouldn't be like immediately like, oh, these guys would work well together. Like, what is this goofy ass group? So yeah, that was my planning. I don't know how you did yours.
I tried to like I went through my Steam library and I was just thinking like what characters would be interesting.
Yeah.
That's similar to like the way you thought about it. And then I started I made a giant list of all of the characters that I thought would be interesting.
Okay.
And then I started thinking, what roles do I want in a team?
Yeah.
If I were in a team, I'd want a leader, I'd want a detective, I'd want stuff like that. And that's basically how my team came together. And,
okay.
And it does have some more like fighty characters, but
sure.
I think it's still an eclectic bunch.
Mm-hmm. Okay, dope. So do we want to do you want me to just go through my team first and be like, I picked this person for XYZ and then just round it out and then pass it off to you? I think is that the organization here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Present me your team.
All right. Then let me tell you about, hold on, how'd you title this? You put the CGDannyBolts. These are the CGDannyBolts. So I started with, of course, the leader, our Bucky. This is the one that I was like, this is my lock from the get-go. This is who I want on this team. And that was Zero from Katana Zero. I think they are very similar characters, with like Zero and Bucky both having some PTSD, drug mind control kind of, shenanigans going on. Maybe less mind control for Zero, but still like drugs inducing a state in which, is probably not consensual for anyone playing. But then we recently got the update that like, hey, we're still working on the DLC for Katana Zero. I was like, yeah, he deserves some more time in the spotlight. With the whole thing of like his vibe is let me put in my earbuds and then just go ham killing a bunch of dudes. And the gameplay loop itself is run the level. And then if you die, you're like, okay, that was me calculating that this path will not work. I can't do that one. So you start over, do it again. Got it. Now this guy's going to be here. So I realize now that this path won't work. And every time you're watching it back from you dying is you calculating the right way to do something. And then the final one is, all right, cool, I found the right path. This is what I had to do. And I just think that energy kind of coexists with Bucky, and I like that a lot. So yeah, Katana Zero was my leader of the group. This is where I started to just diverge from what the actual cast was, but I was like, then I had the cool one, who was Alethea from Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder, who was a badass redhead steampunk cowgirl. I never got to play the full game. but I played a shit ton of the demo and I was really into it. It's dope. She's a cool character. She's hot, but I think she's just like the badass, like doesn't really care what other people think, and it's just like, I'm here to do a thing. Like, get out of my way, or if you're not gonna help, fucking move type deal. Plus, you guys got a cool little pistol to shoot fucking robots and stuff. So I like that, Alethea. Nice. Then we started to get a little bit cuter, Tofr. A little bit cuter on this side of things. We have the sweeper, which is Pluto from Crypt Custodian. And I thought Pluto would be the great one that is the, I guess, like the goose from like Captain Marvel, where it's like, it's just a cat. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what is happening? To then have Pluto be like, I do crazy stuff. When I hit things, it explodes. If you hit me, I explode. If I smack you with my broom, you explode. And you're like, why do you do all this? You're just a cat with a broom. I'm more than that. I'm from hell, bitch. Like, just some kind of crazy, like, didn't see this character doing that. That's wild. But yeah, but just such an arsenal of different things they can include. I'm like, okay, Pluto would be a fun one to have. Next up, we have the support. And I was like, God, I need like a doctor. I was like, no, I don't. I got Bobo from Call of Boba, the cute little penguin who, again, falls in the cutesy side of like, what are you doing here? How are you contributing? You're like, I brought the boba. Everybody gets to drink. Like, just the honorary parent who's just like, I got dibs on Gatorade at the baseball game. Of like, I'll hand it. Here you go, kids. Get your Gatorade. Stay hydrated. Like, little man's just running around with like a little over-the-shoulder cart of just like, what kind of boba do you want? What kind of milk tea in here? Doing the thing. I was like, this is cute. This is fun.
Damn.
Then we got a little more serious again, and we went with the tank / shield character, which would be, I guess, our equivalent of John Walker. But I went with Cleo from Doomsday Paradise, which is a very Monster Prom-esque game. But Cleo is like a, I believe, retired warrior. She went out and fought monsters and stuff, comes home, has a kid. The kid's this annoying 13-year-old, like, Mom, stop embarrassing me in front of my friends type vibe. And she's just like, well, I'm just a hot mom with abs, so just kind of deal with it, son. But she's hot. She's badass. I think I dated her once in that game. She's great. That's really it. She's just kind of cool. So I thought she was fun to bring.
Sometimes you need a character just to be cool.
You do. You really do. And I guess we technically have Alethea. But I feel like Alethea and Cleo would do the like, you good? You good? All right. Fist bump, like, all right, cool. You stay out my way, I'll stay out your way. Fight if we need to. We're good. I feel like Cleo would be less of like an annoyed one. She'd just be like, I catch your vibe. That's fine. Do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last member of the team itself is the comic relief, our Red Guardian equivalent. And I was like, well, I need a Toll from Spiritfarer. Just the big hefty man who's here to tell some stories and have the dad jokes and be around doing the thing. Might leave in the middle of the mission just because they don't want to say goodbye, you know? We'll see. Whatever that turns into.
I'm not over that.
Not at all. But yeah, when I saw Red Guardian, I was trying to think of an indie character. Like, Atoll was just front of mind the whole time. I'm like, yeah, this is the character I want to take. I feel like he would be the most fitting for that role. So yeah, I put him in. And then, not one we included, but I was like, fuck it. She's on the fucking poster, I guess. We have the, God, what was her name? The Nick Fury of the Thunderbolts. I just watched Wakanda Forever. She's in that too. Someone out there knows better than I don't have time to Google it. Anyway, the leader lady who's just like, I brought together a team, but in a mean way. So the Nick Fury of the group, I put Rashan. The game doesn't have voiceover, so I don't know how you pronounce it. The cool dude with the hood and the shadowy face from Sea of Stars. He starts the game as like the narrator. You start the game with this silhouette of just like someone's telling the story to eventually meet the character. Like, oh, I know who you are. But they felt like this otherworldly being of just like, I know what the world needs, and this is the team that I've brought together for better or worse. And I was like, okay, cool. Not really a part of the team, but you made the team, so we're cool with it. Yeah. So I brought him in and said, we got Ration, the cool guy from Sea of Stars. Yeah.
It's funny, like my first thought when I was making my own team was, Danny's gonna pick a Katana Zero character.
Yeah, valid. Yeah,
and I'm glad that worked. I'm glad that worked out the way it did.
Yeah, dude. You know, it was just kind of a given, man.
I like your team. Like, there's plenty of combat experience there.
Yeah.
We don't even know if Atul used to be a fighter or not. But
we don't. But honestly, he's a big man. He can throw his weight around. I believe him.
I think so. Unless he just disappears, of course. But
yeah, that too.
maybe he makes the enemies disappear in the middle of combat.
He probably goes with him though. You know what I mean? Like, sorry guys, got to disappear, but I'm taking this guy with. Don't forget the fried chicken. I'm really hungry.
Pork chops.
Okay. That's a team.
That's a really good team. Do you think this team would be able to fight? What's his name? The Sentry.
No. I mean, correct. Could they fight Sentry? Yes. Could they beat Sentry? Maybe. I know enough about Sentry to like get by, but like I'm gonna watch this movie like, oh, Sentry does that? Oh fuck. Oh no. I've seen this trailer. I've seen people getting dusted all over again. Like, wait a minute, what's this guy doing? What's going on here? So, well, maybe we'll see. But I think Cleo, Alethea, and Zero would definitely put in the work where they can. The rest are really just supporting and cute, for marketing. So we get the team together. We have plushes and action figures to sell. But yeah,
yeah. Now, if the Suicide Squad is powerful enough to take down Warner Brothers,
yep,
then this team surely can take the Sentry.
You got a point. You on it. Yeah, my team's wiping Sentry up and down the street. But yeah, that's my team. So what you got over there?
Oh, I have some interesting choices.
Mm-hmm.
So my team is also 6 characters. The first one is this anti-hero that really wants to be an actual hero, kind of like Red Guardian wants to be.
Yeah.
And that's Logan from my time at Sandrock. In that game, Logan is like this golden retriever kind of cowboy bandit.
Okay.
And the whole town of Sandrock is convinced that he's gone crazy and he's gone evil. But slight spoilers, he's actually doing heroics things, but you only find out later on in the game.
Oh no.
But yeah, he's great at combat with an especially good shot, and he is actively trying to do some good even when people seem to have given up on him.
Yeah.
So I think that's the kind of mentality that my team needs.
We take it. We love it.
Another thing my team needs is someone with great investigative skills. And
Big
listen,
brains.
Why not invite the greatest yet down under luck detective out there? It's Eugene McQuacklin from Duck Detective.
Let's go.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. It was a bit of a toss-up between Eugene and Disco Elysium's Harry Dubois.
Okay. Yep, I get it.
But I believe that Eugene can stay sober for long enough
Yeah,
during combat. So that's what gave him the edge in the end. But yeah, you need someone who can find that clue, like kind of the Batman type. The person who can figure it all out and who can get all tactical when the need arises.
You're saying it. Eugene got a sequel, but where's Disco Elysium 2? I don't see it. You know what I mean? So.
Ooh, that's a delicate one to get into.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, my team obviously also needs a healer because they might be really good, but they will take damage.
Mm-hmm.
And why not go for someone who was one of the bad guys that then got betrayed by the other bad guys?
Whoa.
And turned good?
Good.
So I went with Dessa Banks from Tactical Breach Wizards.
Hell yeah.
To just I really wanted to pick her just because she will add to the chaos, because she isn't actually a healer, she's a necromancer.
Oh, well, yeah, that's great.
So when you take damage, she'll kill you and then bring you back to life. Actual hell. I thought that fit my team just perfectly.
I do like that. That's really good.
Then we have the leader with capital L.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted someone charismatic, used to leading a group of people, someone who can be pretty convincing until you figure him out, and someone who seems like he's the leader, but he's not really. So I went for the Lamb.
Smart.
Cult of the Lamb.
Smart.
I mean, we know he can do combat. We know that he can lead huge groups of people. And also he's charismatic, but the thing is, when you see through him, he's done.
Yeah.
So because of that, we need an actual leader.
Of course.
Someone who won't be taking the spotlight, kind of the Bucky type, I guess.
Okay.
Who won't really be taking the central spotlight, but has incredible combat prowess and is used to instructing others in combat.
Yeah.
So I went with a Bang Bang Fire from 1,000 Times Resist.
Mommy.
For people who haven't played 1,000 Times Resist, in this game, you play as a Watcher who is a clone of the last surviving human after a alien invasion wiped all life from the planet. And everyone who's left in this world are clones of the original survivor.
Yeah.
Bang Bang Fire is one of those. And in this new kind of society, she's the one who trains soldiers. She's the one that's like an expert at fighting hand-to-hand combat, but also using weapons. So she would be perfect for this role, especially since basically she's an introvert.
Yeah.
She doesn't like to fight. She's like a pacifist. She doesn't want to fight. If she can avoid a fight, she will. She will try to solve it any other way. But she'll be the one that the team looks to for guidance.
Yeah.
And the Lamb's hollow words fall short. Now, these might seem like pretty straightforward picks. So I had to do the wild card. The wild card is just like, sometimes you need a character to maybe turn the tide when things seem hopeless.
Yeah.
So why not try and have the princess from Slay the Princess in our team?
Oh, I'm looking at the list like that's a good one. That's a fun one.
The thing is she good or evil? Who knows? Is she capable of insane things? Absolutely. As we've seen in all of our playthroughs. Could she save the world or rather destroy it? That's still to be determined. But when we get desperate enough, we turn to the princess.
Yeah.
And she will maybe save the day.
That's good. That's a good one. That's a fun one. I like Slay the Princess. I like her on the team.
Yeah, it reminded me a bit of what was she called? The Enchantress in the first Suicide Squad movie.
Yep, for sure.
I was going for that kind of vibe.
Yeah, that'd be great. She shows up at the end. She's just like, well, be cool if we had some crazy eyeballs over the wall and some extra dimensional bullshit. Let's just have some fun with it, you know? Let's see what goes on. Yeah.
I am now just made entirely out of knives.
Yeah. Whatever ending this is for the shirt I have on that I still don't know what this is. But you know, I have to go back and do the rest of the endings I haven't seen.
There's plenty.
Yeah. I was looking at the plot. I'm like, it looks achievable. And I pulled up a guide and bookmarked it. I just Tofr, I have so many games on my PlayStation. I'm like, I need to platinum this. I just need to do them. But
yeah, but we had like April has been insane and May seems to be even more insane, I guess.
Yup. I don't think June's slacking either. But
nope.
There we have it. I mean, like, I go back and look at your team, right? I like Eugene McWax. I like that you have him. I think he's like a new modern indie icon that isn't quite iconic yet, but will continue to become one. I really like Eugene McWax.
Yeah.
I like Cult of the Lamb because I'm imagining I always think of the animated like short that's on YouTube where like the cult comes back from, or the lamb comes back from his mission, and everyone's just like, "Oh, we missed you." It's like, "We haven't eaten in days." I'm like, why? There's food right there. It's like, "Oh, no one cooked it for us." I'm like, "You guys can't cook?" You're like, "No, we didn't know." And you're like, "Well, why is there a dead body? Why is there shit everywhere?" "Well, you didn't leave a bathroom, so it got clogged, so no one could unclog the bathroom." "No, so I shit in the floor." "Why didn't you guys pick it up?" "Yeah, I'm not going to touch it, but if you put it in a bowl, maybe I'll eat it." And I'm like, I can just see the lamb being like, what is it? What is everyone doing? What is everyone doing?
Yeah. I imagined the lamb as like being this person to give this epic speech going into battle, but that speech being so full of bullshit. Like the most cliched Michael Bay type heroic stuff, and the rest of the team just being like, "Oh, shut the fuck up.
I'll be quiet."
Let's
Like,
do this.
it just let Logan's the one that he's just like, "Let's go, team, yeah!" And then runs outside, just from Sentry, just like, "You're dead." I'm like, oh no, they got Logan.
Don't underestimate Logan.
I see. The thing is, I don't want to underestimate Logan. I just maybe I'm overestimating everyone else. I'm like, oh man, I don't see these people die. Well, I don't know much like Dessa like that, so maybe she's the one. But like, I don't know. I feel like if Lamb's
she
given
dies,
a speech,
there's no one to bring her back.
it's true. Oh God, Creative Cloud, something about Lightroom. Shut the fuck up. Anyway, nah, it's a banger team. That's a good team. Now, do you think they could defeat Sentry?
I think so, simply because the thing is, like, we have the princess.
Yep.
Which is like basically the we have a Hulk type.
Yeah.
We also have Bang Bang Fire, who can like train these people up to like the best of their abilities.
True.
But then we have the cheat code with the Necromancer.
Yeah.
So like the Sentry could be like, haha, you're dead, and you're dead, and then Dessa will be like, fuck you, no they aren't.
I immediately see, because we're on the Marvel kick now, see the like the Age of Ultron moment where Thor's like killing all these robots, and Ultron's like, "Thor, you're bothering me," and just like drags him away, and it's just like, Dessa, no, we needed that one.
Yep.
Oh man, this is fun. Just thinking about the goofiness of it. We haven't done like this pop culture thing is happening outside of games. Let's do something similar with it. You know, maybe there's another structure to it that's more like, oh, what do we look at, chat? But right now you just listen to us list indie game characters and why they would fight in a team. But this is fun. I like this one.
I'm glad you liked it. I liked it too. It's fun to like look at these characters in a different light.
Yeah, absolutely. And then chat, I want to hear what you guys think about our Thunderbolts team, and if they're bad, who would be on your Thunderbolts team? It's very important. Any other thought in the Thunderbolts?
I'm really curious to find out what people think was the stronger team.
Honestly, I mean, I had Bobo, so I think you got fucking slapped, brother.
That's true.
I don't see no Bobo on your team.
No, that's true.
We look at the doc and I just see your cursor move up. I'm like, oh, who's deleting from my team? What are you doing over there? Stop it.
I'm not doing anything.
I saw the cursor. I was like, delete something. I don't know. But yeah, those are our IndieBolts teams, the CGDannyBolts and the Play Nice Bolts. The teams and the dreams and whatnot. I forgot a thumbnail for this one. But 1 second.
Oh, you're timing it.
Timestamp 53 on the dot. Ba-boom. I guess we're gonna jump into what we've been playing. Do you want to go first with yours?
I want you to go first, because we mentioned Expedition 33 before, but I want to hear all about it.
Absolutely. Let me pull up the footage here. Here we go. 1 second. I didn't adjust the audio, so it's probably going to hear.
Oh, no.
You can't hear Tofr, but man, let me tell you about the soundtrack, brother. Let me tell you about this. Okay, we turn that off.
I've heard good things.
Oh my God, it's so good. I love it. So, I've been playing Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I got my key, so thank you so much to the PR team for setting me up with it. Clair Obscur is a RPG where in this world there's this godlike character called the Paintress, and every year on the same day she counts down this giant clock in the middle of the ocean that always just has a big number on it. That currently we're on Expedition 34. What happens is when that ticks down, everybody on the planet who is of the new age, so when this ticks down to 33, anybody who is 33 or older dies. They get Thanos, they snap, and they disappear. Oof. So the population is progressively getting younger and younger and younger. So each year we send out a new expedition. So we're on Expedition 33. So everyone who, signs up to go out in this exploration to try and find the Paintress and defeat her so they can stop this whole global genocide, whatever. They go on this big adventure fighting a bunch of cool things called Nevrons. They're God, I wish I could define it, but they're all so different. I don't know exactly what they are, but they're something. This game is so fucking beautiful. The amount of times I've stopped, I don't often use a photo mode, and I don't believe this game has one yet. If it does, I haven't seen the option for it, but goddamn do I wish there was a photo mode. Holy shit. Fucking beautiful. I love it. I'm in love with the characters right now. It's got quite the cast. The main character, Gustav, is played by Charlie Cox, who plays Daredevil in the show. Yep. There's I haven't met his character yet, but Ben Starr's character is in this game. I also believe Andy Serkis is in the game. I am not familiar with the female cast. If I am, I'm just like, oh, they play this person I didn't know. But yeah, there's Gustav, there's Mael. Lune is currently my favorite. She's my best girl. I love her. I would die for her. She's cool. But one of the coolest things, and I'll jump ahead to some combat for it. Every character plays different. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying?
I'm just going through the cast, and I see that Mael is played by Jennifer English, and I was just looking up. Isn't she in Baldur's Gate? Yes, she's Shadowheart.
That's it. Okay, brother, let me tell you, man. I'm listening to Mael. I'm like, who are you? You sound familiar. I'm like, I must be thinking, because there's a point where you talk with her. She's the first person you talk to, and then the game continues, and you run back into her. I'm like, I'm just remembering her from earlier. That's it. But yeah, now I'm like, oh, Shadowheart. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. But one of the cool things with the combat, first, I mentioned earlier during the news part that this is so Persona coded in its combat, where like it's just super stylized. It's got fun angles. There's the menus are this big 3D explosion of attention. Like, it's really great. But all the characters play so similarly but so different at the same time. Where like Gustav's whole thing is he has an ability called Overcharge, where every time you hit, you dodge, or you parry, you increase your charge for overcharge, and then it's like a big like lightning burst. You go up, if you do the QTEs and get the perfect time, you do like a blast of lightning damage. But my favorite thing for Gustav is one of the first abilities you get is to mark the enemies, because then Lune, who's this beautiful queen on the screen right now for video watchers, she has an ability called Immolation, where if you hit an enemy, you'll burn them. If the enemy's marked, you get additional stacks of burn. So every turn, at the start of the turn, they take fire damage over and over again. And then Mael, who I believe one of her abilities is if the enemy is burned, you switch into a new stance, which is Virtuous Stance, which does increased damage. So there's just this routine of, I know when I start, this character goes first, they're going to do this. Because as soon as I do this damage, they're going to come in, they're going to attack, this next character goes. And like, it's really overwhelming at first because of how different everyone plays. This isn't like a Pokemon where you're like, let me go pick, I have 4 different attacks, it's just gonna go. Because you have you have up to 6 attacks. There is a gun, so you can like aim down sights, and like if they have like a crystal eye or like a crystal heart or something, you can pull out the gun and shoot it. But that uses action points, which is your economy per turn. You have to do attacks to earn more action points to do some of the bigger moves. I just unlocked the 4th character, and her whole thing is using her Sai, which does both light and dark magic. And the light is to stack up certain points, and the dark is to spend those points. And if you do both abilities, you earn as a separate currency additional tokens. And if you have one of each token, they combine, which basically just doubles everything. You do double the damage. You can stack twice as much of the different currencies and everything on them. Like, it's a lot. I've only used her for like 3 or 4 fights where I'm currently at, but like I am so invested as someone who like easily gets turned off by turn-based RPGs because they're just so mundane and the same of like, I click the button, I fight the thing, I do the thing, their turn, come back to me. But like, this game has all the typical RPG stuff, but it also has real-time combat scenarios like dodging, parrying. It's definitely adjustment period. I whiff it more than I've landed it, but it is as the enemy comes in, that first time you're like, I don't know what the pattern of this attack is. Like, there's this one tree-like creature who like jumps at you. I'm like, this is when I dodge. And then he lands. That's not the attack. And then he goes, I'm like, okay, that's the attack. And then I go to block and I miss. Cause then he goes, bam. I'm like, okay. So he does like 6 moves before he actually hits me. So now I have to remember that. And then even then, like sometimes like you think you got it, but you didn't quite get it, you know, but like it's really fun to land those. Cause if you do a parry and you parry each different hit of the attack, you just counterattack for huge damage. Or if it's like a group attack and they hit everybody and you all parry or you all dodge, the dodge will just do no damage. If you all parry, you do like a group essentially from Persona, like an all out attack, and you all just slam into this dude. And it's every time you level up, you get 3 different attribution points, which you increase your vitality, your might, your agility, all the different stats. I had someone pop in the chat the other day just like, hey, just do vitality and luck, you'll get items for the rest. I'm like, sorry, that doesn't work for me. I can't do that. I like to balance my characters out, but like Lune, she has one of her abilities is Thunderfall, where basically she does a giant strike of lightning. Every time it lands a crit, you get an additional strike of lightning. So I'm increasing her luck to get more and more crits. So I'll go in and I'm like, lightning, and it's just like, cling, cling, gling, 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 gling. I'm like, this is great. This is awesome. I love this. It's so wild. Because this is one of those games I'm like, I've been excited for. I couldn't wait to play it. And maybe this is still a me thing, figuring out my routine for like content creation. But I look at this game like, this is very close to AAA, like just in terms of the visual quality of it, period. Just the quality of the gameplay, everything. I've had one little issue I'll talk about in a minute. But like, as I sat here, I'm like, I'm going to put in my request for the key, but I'm probably not going to get one. Like, this just seemed like it's bigger than I am. And then when I got my key, we were last episode, which is funny because it was the moment I mute the mic. I'm like, I got my key for this. And you're like, hey, nice. I'm like, you guys don't get to know. But I got my key last week. And I'm so enthralled in this world. The visuals, the story, one of the really cool things, because I'm not one for finding notes and collectibles in games. I'll never read them. I open it to get the notification off my screen and then close it. But like, these ones are narrated, and there's notes from each expedition before you, because you're expedition 33. So you have notes from 34, 84, 57. Like, as you walk around and you find a note, it is someone like, this is what happened, and da-da-da-da-da. We found this thing, and you're getting this narrative story of what this world has gone on in the past. And I'm so invested in a way that I normally am not in the backstory and the lore of the world outside of my characters directly. And I'm constantly like, I want to make sure I check every single corner so I can find one of those notes. Because like, the first one you find is you find a bunch of former expedition members dead on the ground in front of like a dead corpse of one of the Neverons. You're like, oh no, what happened here? You pick up the note and the narration's like, all right, we found this thing and it doesn't seem hostile. I think if we do that, and like the note ends with them dying. And like, if you read that, I think you get the message, but like, hearing it was really fun. Like, it was like a movie type thing that most video games, like, here's the notes. We had someone write up a little document. We just slapped it in the game. This felt great. I thoroughly am enjoying everything about this game. I think the one issue that I had is sometimes in between worlds, you have like this open zone type area. Which is comparison for like Cuphead, right? You beat a boss and you have I'm going to roam the overworld to pick my next location. You have one of those in this game. And there was one spot where I'd unlocked a new thing that lets me go over like rough terrain, but I didn't activate it before I walked into it. So my character got stuck in the terrain. So I was like running in the spot, like unable to move. I was like, no. So I would open camp, reload and do whatever. And that still wouldn't adjust. I was stuck in the rock. I'm like, am I fucked? What do I do? And like the reload save state only shows 3. So I thought like, I can't go back far enough. If you scroll more, there are more. So I was able to go back like 8 auto saves later. I was like, okay, I have to redo an encounter. Not too bad. So I was able to fix it and get myself back on track. But that was a heart wrenching moment. I'm like, please, no, I'm like 9 hours into this game already. I really need you to not do this to me. But it was all good. It was fine. So if you have the same problem, just reload a little bit older of a save. You're good. But, man, I think the thing I get the most out of this, right, is someone, again, who doesn't love RPGs like that. I'm looking at this in a way of this so few that I like, this one's hitting. This one is hitting so hard. And I think if you're like me and you don't like RPGs, you don't like turn-based RPGs for XYZ, any of the reasons that are typically like, it's just really repetitive and it does this. This one's got AAA quality cinematics. It's got amazing characters, awesome, unique things for the combat. Like the world is absolutely stunning. I'm so in love with this game that like the plan is to record the podcast, throw it together, export it, go on a walk, and then come back and play tonight. Like I want to dive more into this. I'm so infatuated, man.
Damn.
It's
I can imagine. Like, it looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And like every person in this game is fucking beautiful.
Oh my god, they're so fucking hot.
Damn. But I have it downloaded through Gamepass.
Okay.
Because I really want to give it a try myself. Yeah, it looks amazing, and I think we might have. It seems like a lot of publications are nailing this one down as one of the Game of the Year contenders.
Yes, absolutely.
I even believe that one of the creators of Dragon Age has compared this game. They let me check.
Sure, yeah.
They said Clair Obscur is to JRPGs what Baldur's Gate 3 was to CRPGs.
Damn,
that's high praise.
Good praise.
Right?
That's some good praise. I think expectations should be set if you're going to be like, yes, this is my next Baldur's Gate. It's not that. I think I've seen about 24 hours of playtime. I think that's another big thing for me. Where like we talk all the time about how like long ass games just aren't it for me. When I get a fucking 80-hour game, like I don't have time for that. I could knock out 10 other games.
ADHD.
Exactly. And there's just too many things to play. If I got 80 hours for one game, when I could put 80 hours into 8 games, like it's just more time efficient that way. But like I'm around the 10 to 12-ish hour mark on this game. And I'm like, I'm about halfway in terms of how long it should take me. But like I'm checking every corner. I'm looking to find everything. And there's so many systems I didn't even talk about, right? There's like Pictos, which are like upgrades, which like, this one will give you 25% chance to do whatever. If you equip it and you complete 4 encounters with it, it becomes a new upgrade that you can equip without using your inventory slots. And this is really hard to explain without the visual, so stick with me.
Yeah.
But it is like, okay, so it's like I have a little badge on. This thing will give me 25% chance to burn. And then I win 4 matches whether I use it or not. And then it's like, boom, now it's like a little spell. I could put that in my other pocket and I could take the badge off. Then I could put another badge on to try and level it up while I have this. But I have like a currency for how many spells I can use. So it's a lot. There's a whole lot in the menus. It is a lot. I could absolutely see it being overwhelming. But I think once you just look at it and you're like, okay, I see what this one does. The game does a great job of just being like, here's a tutorial. Here's the character. She's weird, but it's not that bad. Do this, do this, do this. You figured her out. I'm like, oh, cool. Like man, I'm in a year right now where I have like 5 or 6 games where I'm like, oh, this is going to be in my top 10. I'm like, oh God, I'm lying about something, man. We're only halfway through and something's not going to make it.
Yeah.
But this right now is one that I'm like, dog, top 5 probably. Like I know we have some bangers yet, but like we'd have to have some bangers to move this down right now. I'm in it. I'm so in it.
Damn. High praise.
Yeah. This game's sick. But yeah, guys, please go play. That's the wrong scene. I need your face back. Please go play Expedition 33. It's on Game Pass. It's on PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox. This game's sick. This game's awesome. Please play it.
Will do, Danny.
There we go. And with that, in hour 7, Tofr, what have you been playing?
My first game is called Skogdal.
Skogdal.
I also received a key for this one. And it's the first of 2 roguelike deck builders that I got to play just this week.
Oh my God.
Yes. We all know I love me a good roguelike deck builder.
Just a little bit, you know. You might.
This one certainly has a style very much its own.
Yeah.
With the game being set in a Norwegian town in the 90s, it's no wonder that its crude hand-drawn art reminds me a lot of that late 90s, early 2000s MTV era.
Yeah.
When Beavis and Butthead and Jackass and Tony Hawk and stuff like that. But behind that really cool aesthetic lies a game with surprising depth to its gameplay.
Yeah.
Skogdal plays like a love letter to both the genre of the roguelike deck builders and its fans, because if you're someone who can get like really obsessed with strategy and tactics in games like this, who will like spend days figuring out the right combination of stuff, you will adore this game. There's with the inclusion of companions and your choices for upgrading being limited, gameplay isn't just a copy paste Slay the Spire wannabe.
Yeah,
it's something very much its own. It's also not procedurally generated. This version of the town of Skogdal was hand created, and rather than moving from battle to point of interest to another battle, you just go from area to area. For example, from your house to the supermarket or to the gas station or stuff like that. And you don't get notified of what you'll find in that area.
Okay.
It's basically like walking there. You have no idea what will turn up. Another fantastic thing about the game is the soundtrack. It's just, it rocks so hard, Danny. It's rock music, and it's there's no ambient background noises here. When it's time to fight, it's time to fucking riot.
Yeah, okay, let's go.
Oh, and the reason you're traversing this town and fighting everyone is because something mysterious happened. I'm not going to spoil it here.
Okay.
But all of a sudden, all of the villagers want you dead.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. The whole mystery angle is another really cool callback to the days of the X-Files, which was very popular in the 90s. And it's so good. It's a really excellent roguelike deck builder. And this being a year that seems to be full of them,
yeah,
it's gonna take something to like stand out. But Skogdal stands out because of the visual style, because of the gameplay, because of the music. It's just the whole package is just brilliant.
It looks great, dude. I love, you already talked about, like, you know, the 90s Beavis and Butthead, like middle school boy, like notebook sketches vibe, which I think is really cool. I'm interested because you said like you're exploring the map of like you're going from your house to the supermarket, right? Is it set in stone enough that like if you, I guess, lose a run, do you know, are you going to run to that same encounter? If I start fresh, like if I walk from my house to the store the first time, oh, it's the dude and his dog, and then the second time it's the neighborhood book club, or is it pretty consistent of what I'm going to run into, or does that get randomized?
It's pretty consistent, but it's not like an exact copy.
Okay.
It's not like you're gonna be playing just the same enemies over and over and over again each time you die.
Yeah. Okay. This is and then so like I'm looking at some of the cards, right? They're like just do the punch and do whatever. So you have what, the 3 energy points per turn. You use that, and then God, you're just beating up these poor women. What'd they do to you? What'd you do to them? What you call
they attacked me.
I don't know. I may have skipped ahead a little bit, but it looks like you're just beating up some nice ladies.
No, the cool, like, as you can see, there's a companion by my side.
Yeah,
the pizza guy. That's my best friend. He's one of the cards that you play, and he's always in your first hand.
Oh, okay.
So you can basically always play him on your first turn.
That's cool.
Moving cards is another thing that sets this game apart from other roguelike deck builders, because you don't get rid of your entire hand after your turn.
Oh, okay.
Like
that's
most
fun.
roguelike deck builders, you play your turn, and then the rest of your cards go into the discard pile.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen here. Another thing, I keep on coming up with more things.
There's always more things. Do it.
Yeah. You have 3 energy to spend on playing cards, but if you don't have the cards that you need, you can use some of that energy to draw more cards.
Okay.
That brings a whole other level of strategy to these battles. Because if you want to draw 1 card, it'll cost you 1 energy. But if you want to draw a second card, you'll have to use 2 energy, and so forth.
Okay.
So it brings so many cool ideas of what a roguelike deck builder can be like, and packages them in like the type of game you wouldn't expect a roguelike deck builder to be.
Sure.
Because this is just the story of a random Norwegian teenager whose town all of a sudden all wants to kill him. But
okay, I guess my fate.
Yeah, the idea to make this a roguelike deck builder, just I wish I was as creative.
Yeah. This is cool. I do like it a lot. I feel like sometimes when it comes to development, right, where they're just like, all right, cool, we have an idea, what do we do with it? And I feel like as of late we've had so many roguelikes, deck builder or not, it just seems like it is. There was a point in time where like the platformer was like baby's first game, and now it seems like a roguelike could be that, where it is we generate something and we find a way of just, we randomly generate the numbers, or we create a stat and this is how it goes, and then here are the cards, they would do XYZ. So there's so many of them that it might just be like an easy way to start making games. Maybe easy is the wrong word, but an accessible way to start making games. And then we just get stacks on stacks of deck building roguelikes. Like, okay, Oh, we got another one. We got another one,
I'm
baby.
not complaining. I'm not complaining.
They're good. We got another one to talk about in a second. Or well, I guess two more to talk about in a second. But, but yeah, dude, this looks awesome. I do like the vibe. Yeah. It's one that I'm like, will I get around to it? And if so, when? But like, I do like the style a lot. It looks really cool.
It is. And again, the soundtrack is just chef's kiss. I kept on like bobbing along with my head.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah, this is fighting music.
I don't know if it's as good as Wild Frost, but yeah, you know, we'll see.
It's you can't compare those.
Yeah.
Because it's just different. They both, I can put it this way, they both fit their game as perfectly.
Hell yeah. That's good to hear. Hold on, I get you again. Let me find out again. Oh, it's just you talking. All I can hear is your voice. What the fuck, Tofr?
Oh yeah, no. the audio on this video is like super quiet.
All good.
Like I made a YouTube video about this game, and I had to put the volume up to 400%.
Okay.
Export that video. Wait. Export that video, and then make another video, and then put the volume up to 400% again.
We need the 800% boost.
Just to make it audible. I don't know why my computer wants everything to be this quiet, but
OBS, they say, whoop. Look at it. I'll show you multi-track.
No, OBS is up to its maximum. So that's what I don't get.
I
even changed mics, and it doesn't make a difference, and I have no idea how to fix it. But apparently it's a Windows thing. Some people who have Windows 11 have the same issue.
Oh, that sucks. Damn it, Windows. Move on to 12 already. Oh, boy. Any other thoughts on Skogdal?
Please play it.
There you go.
Because there's going to be more roguelike deck builders coming even next month. There's some big hitters coming with Monster Train 2 and As We Descend. And we still have the early access release of Slay the Spire 2 to come this year. So before those arrive, please play Skogdal.
As you should. Oh, fucking hour 17 and 14 seconds. Easy peasy. Hey, Tofr. Speaking of deck building roguelikes, we've both been playing the same deck building roguelike. That I don't have my footage pulled up for, and so I gotta open this folder and then that folder. Got it. But we received keys for Starvaders last week.
Hell yeah.
And I am very excited to hear what you, after just coming off Skogdal and talking about how much you like that one, seeing where you're at with Starvaders. So what's your take on Starvaders?
Well, first of all, like to introduce the game, it mixes things up from typical games in the genre by adding one of the most iconic gameplay formats of all time, Space Invaders. Rather than just playing enemies in front of you, Starvaders has you take to the sky as a mech pilot, fighting enemies dropping down from outer space. Luckily, they only drop down one row at a time. But things get more complicated with more different and varied enemies joining the fray. Playing this immediately after Skogdal was an interesting experience because Skogdal is one that you need to invest some time in. Like a single run will take a while. Can easily go over an hour. While Starvaders, a successful run took me, I think, 45 minutes.
Yeah, sounds about right.
And then I just wanted to play another run.
Yep.
So it's a different kind of vibe, but they're similar in quality levels. For people watching the video version of this, the presentation is just top notch. I adore this art style. It features like this beautiful, vibrant, colorful world that I associate with like adventure games set in science fiction universes. So I really dig that. The music is good, and the gameplay is just so much fun.
Yeah, dude.
You have different pilots that you can choose from. When you start the game, you only have one pilot, but then you unlock more pilots as you play the game. And they offer up so much variety, as do all of the different types of enemies that also get introduced gradually.
Yeah.
With each run. But yeah, what was your experience with the game? I could ramble on with it.
Yeah, it was interesting because when we started, like we got our keys. I guess funny anecdote. We got the email like, hey, here's some keys. I'm like, can I get a second one for my partner Tofr? So they sent me 2 keys. Both of our keys didn't work. I emailed back. I'm like, hey, they're both used. We got 2 more keys. Mine works. Yours didn't. I'm like, hey, this one still doesn't work. Yeah, this one's still dead. Hey, can I get another one? Okay. Hey, I just let you guys know this is like 5 or 6 times. I don't want you to think that I'm stockpiling keys. They just don't work. So we finally got a key that worked. You're eventually like, just don't worry about it. Like, no, we're worrying about it. We've already committed. I've already made him change it 5 times. We got to change it until it works. So we ended up getting our key. And I started playing a tutorial, and it was definitely one of those wrong place. I'm not ready for this right now because I wasn't feeling it going through the tutorial. And I was like, okay, I got to pick this back up. So today I was like, shit, I didn't get back to Starvaders. Like I got to do that today. So with the like 3 or 4 hours before the podcast, I was like, damn, I'm addicted. This is really fun. And I'm glad I got the chance to jump back in. Cause like I said, I was so there, but not like, I love the style. I love the vibe. I love the ideas. And this is another one of those roguelites that just like clicked where I was like, I know exactly what build I'm going to go for with these starting cards. Cause there's the momentum card, which lets you move. And when you do that, you get an extra heat sink. So the way this game works is you basically have heat every turn. It default is 3. Every card, well, most cards you play cost 1 heat at the beginning. So if you use 3 cards, they each cost a heat, like your turn is not done. But if you use 1 more card, you overheat, which burns your cards, so some can't be used. And then you get like piles of ash in your inventory that take up card slots, so it becomes like harder to play. So you really want to use all of your abilities that you can in one turn without overdoing it. If you really need to, like the amount of times I'm like, it's the final turn. If I overheat now, I will win this round. Let me just do it. But yeah, there's sometimes like, oh, I don't want to do this because I'm gonna screw myself. And a couple times I lost because I was like, overheat. I got the wrong card. Now I can't play. Damn it, I lose. But like that was my first run. My second run, I got this. I got the Robo Parrot, which was like the first card I'd play. It would just duplicate it 2 more in my hand for free. So I went for like a bomb set in my second one. I was like, but I also had, what was it called? It was like the speculars or something. They're like glasses that if you played a card, it wouldn't go to your discard pile. You still have to pay the cost of it, but you would then keep it in your hand. So I could go and place the card, like place a bomb, and then I get 2 free ones because the parrot, blop, blop. And because I got to keep it instead of discarding it, I got to place another one. A cool thing I didn't figure out till later is that, so you have 3 bombs you can play on the field at once. If you go to place a 4th, it will replace the first one and like blow it up. But I didn't know it would blow it up. I thought it would just like delete it. And that, so if you have a handful of bombs without wasting your energy, because some of them are free, I was able to like place 3 bombs, place a 4th bomb for free, which will detonate the first one. And because it's so close to the second one, it'll detonate that. Then I could place more bombs. And I got in this routine where I was getting 10, 15 combos in a turn. I'm like, oh, you're all fucking dead. You're going to keep dying. It's really fun. And this is another, like, I always talk about Wild Frost, where I'm like, I love this game because of the gameplay, but I got in because of the art style. And this has a really fun art style. I think most of the time it's simple, but it's very clean. The character designs are dope. Like Roxy, anyone watching the video version, she's like your default character you can play as. I ended up beating my first run, so I just unlocked whatever the second difficulty is. But I wasn't doing enough of the like burn cards or do this in a run to unlock the other 2 characters. So I still just have second difficulty, first like gunner track without any of the new characters. So next I'm like, okay, let me do a run that's not about winning, that's about doing this shit to unlock these other characters. I can see what they do. But yeah, this is one of those ones that has, I mean, every roguelike does it, right? You have like, this is a cool unique item, or not even like the unique item, like, you know, this is the item from roguelikes. This is the one that does the thing that you like. This is the one that gives you increased damage or whatever. And this one, just everything new I'd pick up, I'm like, I know exactly how to include this in my kit. I know what I can make this do. And the moment I would draw it, I'm like, perfect. This is great. Yeah, I'm having such a good time. This is one that I feel like I could show to the guys. And they play more, I mean, you, of course, play more deck building roguelikes than I do. They play more deck building roguelikes than I do. And this is one where I'm like, I think you guys would really dig this one. And I feel like this would be one that I could see just like a Discord call of people being like, oh, I got this one. Oh, Danny, I got this one. Did you do this? Oh, dude, I got this one. Like, it's cool. It's great.
Yeah, I had that itch to like when you were talking about the tactics that you used. I wanted to like interfere and be like, oh, I used my bombs in this way, and then
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
it really is that type of game. It can feel kind of basic when you start playing it, but you'll soon find that there's a lot more intricate strategy to it than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Even though an entire run is only like 3 levels, you still you'll play almost completely differently in that final boss battle than you did at the start of your run.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it works so well. And even when you have a successful run, you'll just be like, oh, I want to do another one.
Yeah, it's great to find, and like I'm gonna end up cursing myself in it, right? Where I'm like, I had this perfect build that I'm never gonna get again, but I had so many things that would let me just repeat my turns, right? Whether they were I can use this item 3 times. There's like the little mini nuke where if you get a kill with it, it stays in your hand and then I think goes for free or brings back a card from your discard, which you can then use for free. So it was a lot of that where I would use the card, do the thing, do the damage, boom. Oh, psych, I still have a turn, and it would not use my heat. But then I had the momentum, which also had like use 3 in a row. So I could move, which would give me another card. And I can't even remember which cards did what anymore because I was always just had something new in my hand. But there was a point I had the full bar. I had like the whole 12 cards to like, oh, what do I want to do now? What do I pick? And like, it's really fun. And again, it's what is doing entirely new that's different from other roguelikes, like a lot, but at the same time, not a lot. But I think it's unique enough that I'm like, this is a cool stylistic choice. This is a cool take on the roguelikes that I really dig. And I definitely want to put more time into it soon. It's fire.
Yeah, it is. I'm usually not that big of a fan when people go like, oh, it's a roguelike deck builder meets this game.
Right.
But because it like a lot of those games feel a bit gimmicky. But here the gimmick, if you could call it that, just works. Yeah, it's such a good combination, especially with the varying enemy types. I love figuring out how to tackle each one of them in a different way. Some of them are bitches.
No, let me tell you, dude. The fucking bug turrets that would shoot out bugs. I'm like, please go away. Please stop doing that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's another, like, it doesn't happen often that we get 2 roguelike deck builders in 1 week. And I think it happens even less that they're both excellent.
Yeah. You're gonna learn today.
Like this game really reminds me of like a game called Cobalt Core. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Name sounds right, but I can't think of the game.
It's another science fiction roguelike deck builder.
Okay.
That kind of uses similar mechanics where you have to move your ship to the left and to the right to dodge bullets and stuff.
Okay.
But like if that game leaned more into the Space Invaders theme, then you get Starvaders.
Okay. Oh man, Starvaders is fun. It's fun. I know it was at PAX last year, and I think my buddy Jacob was talking about it on the 6-1 IndieCast, and I didn't get around to it, I didn't see, but I saw the trailer for it. I'm like, this looks cool. It looks badass. We'll see if I get to it. And then got the emails. Do you want keys? I love keys. It's hard to say no to keys. I'm like, free games? Sure. I think this is the round where I discovered that they blew up. I'm like, oh, brother, I found the strat. If I put this down, this one will pop, but I can get this. Yeah.
Also, one last thing I want to add is this is such a good Steam Deck game.
Okay, cool. I played just on PC, so I wasn't sure.
It's perfect for Steam Deck.
Hold on, Tofr.
I spent last night in hospital for they had to do some what do you call it in
Sleep
English?
studies.
God damn it, words. Yeah. And
Some
I took my Steam Deck. I took my Steam Deck and then I also took my PS Vita and my Nintendo 3DS, just thinking like I'll go through each one's battery and then just move to the next one.
You're like,
but then I started playing Starvaders and then I just sat there charging my Steam Deck while I was playing. And yeah, the Vita and 3DS never got out of their packages.
I get it. We got the deck. Honestly, let me tell you right now. Let me see this. Let me see something on that deck because I know what I started and didn't finish. Yep. I got to run a MonsterCon going right now on my Steam Deck.
Ooh, nice.
I'm playing as Milo, but yeah, I got it. This was, I clipped this. I'm like, I need this. This was a satisfying one. But again, sorry for audio listeners, but video watchers. I was like, I got the 3 bombs, and I forget the detonator, I guess, like increased how much radius they had. So I was like, I can kill everything on the board in this one move. Bang. And then, shit, I missed the one at the top. I didn't see he wasn't in it. Oh, man. He's the only one left. So I'm like, all right, well, you're dead this turn anyway. But
it's a 10 combo.
Yeah, dude. And then you get money for the combos, which you find the shops on the way, which you can buy new cards and new upgrades. The one time I had like 40,000 stars or whatever, and I bought 2 upgrades. One that was like, get a legendary card at the start of every turn. And the other one, it was another repeat thing. I did a lot of repeats, and I'm hoping I can do more repeat builds because the repeat builds are great. Yeah. But yeah, no, this is such a sick one. Another one of like, awesome, I got a key for a game I'm interested in. I'm like, fuck, I like the game that I'm playing. Like, it's really fun.
Nice. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it that much.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad you enjoyed it that much. What a fun time. What a good game, Starvaders.
It really is.
Let's see.
But you, I was just going to say, you mentioned a certain game there.
Did I?
I want to hear all about.
So Wild Frost is a deck building roguelike where you're living through an eternal winter.
Wasn't. Damn.
I'm just kidding. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. I gotta find the footage.
Wild Frost 2.
Wild Frost 2, baby. Electric Boogaloo. Nah, man. We're talking about MonsterCon, brother. It's finally here. We just did our Monster Prom book club a couple months ago where we talked about the first game and how much I love that game. You found a vibe in some places and not in the other, but now we got the 4th game in the series, where the whole thing this time is you're going to a convention, an anime convention, and you're trying to take one of your 6 classmates to the MonsterCon after party. And the way it starts is you take a personality test. Here's how you get some of your stats. But what they changed in this one is rather than it being like, here's the question, it's usually like a pick your favorite blanks. Like you pick 3 traits about yourself, and some will be like, I like stabbing people, or I like power scaling, my favorite anime characters. Like there's all these different things you pick. And I don't know what all they equate to yet in terms of stats. I haven't taken the time to look. But you pick 3 of those. Then you pick, what are your 3 favorite blanks, and it's like a random something like of these animals, what are your favorite? And there's like a little owl, a wolf, and whatever. You pick those 3, and then the game starts. You go in, you have your conversation, goofy thing ensues. What's different with this game than is the first Monster Prom is, in the first Monster Prom, the way it works is you go in, when you get a dialogue option, they'll give you 2 things that are like, hey, this could happen or this could happen, and you want to pick the one that's based on your better stat. So if you're like, this top one's boldness, the bottom one's smarts, I'm much more bold than I am smart, I want to take the bold option. Then you get the boost, you win, you move on, you do it again. If you pick the wrong one, you lose that stat because you're like, oh, that was dumb, you're not good at that thing. Why would you pick that? In this game, it's not picking one is wrong or right. It's still going to be the 2 separate options. So you might have one that's bold, one that's smart. But whichever one you pick, you will get an increase in that and then a decrease in the other. So like if I go in, like I was trying to go after Omen, my first game. Omen is a Iron Maiden personified something with a missing arm, who's trying to rehabilitate herself to stop stabbing people. She wants to be a good person, but she's really bad at it. She just wants to keep stabbing people. I love her. She's great. She was the first person I was like, I need to kiss you. I'm taking you to party. I'm taking you to the party. And then, I may have gotten the secret ending on my first run, so I'm just gonna say, Omen kind of the vibe, But it was really exciting. We played this on Saturday on stream. So me, Connor, Kanai, and Chris, we all did cosplays. I did Hazel from South of Midnight. Connor did Chopper from One Piece. Kanai did Magnum PI, which just devolved into Doug, who was also wearing a Hawaiian shirt, and Chris did John Cena. And as we're playing through, Connor was like the least lucky. Like his table always got taken, so he couldn't talk to Zoe, but he did get the stat. So at the end, when we were like, let's pick our date, he still got his date, and all 4 of us did. I think it was the first time we played where all of us had a successful run. I'm like, let's go, baby, let's go. 2 secret endings, 2 successful dates. Like this game is so fun to me where I've played this game 3 times already. Still, there's new interactions and new characters and stuff, but like I've played Monster Prom, I've played Camp, I've played Road Trip, and though they're all a little bit different from each other, they're still so the same. Where it's like, man, how am I going to play another one that's just the same thing? And every time it doesn't matter. They're so great. There's so many new interactions. There's so many new pieces of dialogue. There's so many new characters, fun things on the side, quality of life changes. Getting to see characters like April, who like is a micro celebrity who's not allowed to discuss her emotions. She needs to be like, I'm a face on the internet. I have to do this. But she has balloon animals that'll pop out, and like when she can't hold her emotions in, there's like I'm so sad. Like, if you fucking get near me, I'm gonna kill you. And they like pop out in the middle of conversations because she can't say it, but someone can. You have this character here who is just the obnoxious content creator who roams around. It's like, hey, fuck Knuckles, it's me, the guy doing the thing on the internet. And that, like, he's a fun character. I think we decided he's just Asmongold, but Asmongold doesn't do IRL streaming, I guess. I don't know. But like, doing the thing where we sit in the call, we all do the voice acting. I played this rent-a-cop here. It was like, you guys are donuts like that, and like just doing a weird thing with my tongue to like build this character. And there's so many new characters I haven't found a voice for yet, right? Like that's one of my favorite things with Prom, where like I've voiced this character once that didn't feel right. I'm like, oh, but this is the voice. This is where we're at. Connor has his voice for Coach. I have my voice for Noodles, who's like hey everybody, it's me. I'm the shopkeeper's Noodles. Like it's Meatwad, but like that's what Noodles sounds like for our games. So like there's so many characters I haven't found a voice for yet. Like Nico, I did it very just like, it's me, Nico. I'm excited. I'm like, I can find something. We'll find something, just not today. So that's just like a personal exploration. It has nothing to do with the game itself, just how we choose to play. And I'm 3 or 4 runs in where I've had 1 success, one secret ending, 1 success, and then 1 fail, because I didn't know what Omen wanted the first time. But yeah, man, it's a good time. MonsterCon, I don't have to ramble too much because we've talked about Monster Prom. It's more the same, but it's more greatness, and I want more hours.
I get that. Yeah. It's cool to see that, like, despite this being the 4th game already, that it still feels fresh. And still, like, your enthusiasm levels for the franchise is like, I love that about these games. You get so excited talking about them, playing them. And I'm just really happy that this new game just perfectly falls in line with the rest.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would be remiss if I didn't even think to mention any of the new shit, which I totally should. So there's a few different things. So there's still the lunch dates you have. At lunch, you go and talk to the person, but they are now like tiered. So if you talk to someone for the first time, you get to pick like a date, and there's like not spicy, medium spicy, very spicy. And then there's more to unlock as you progress. And they all have different levels of like, you know, how the interaction goes. When you go to talk to them a second time, you have like a date like this, like what you're seeing the video version. So Chris went and spoke to Nico for the second time. So you went out and you get to choose like, what do you want to talk about? So he chose to talk about Nico's hobbies. And Nico's like, I really like cosplay, but like, I don't want to be a creator. I don't want to be a content creator for cosplay. I want it to be my thing. And like, this is the job I want. This is the life I want to live. So that's really cool. And then the other thing is at the beginning of each run, you'll pick a comic book genre. So the first one is like action. The second one we picked was a romance novel. And you go through the days, right? You do the morning, lunch, night, comic book time, where you work as a team to do like a Mad Lib to build like your story in this already written story, but you're filling in the blanks. Like for example, the romance novel was Jacqueline. She's the jack-o'-lantern, like human jack-o'-lantern from camp. And she is in a love square with 3 other characters, and they're all roommates. They're like, hey, let's not make a move on Jacqueline. And then the first person makes a move like, hey, you said you wouldn't make a move, so now I'm going to make a move because you broke the rules. And like the comic ends of like, to be continued. I'm like, okay, so there's got to be another romance novel so we can see what happens to Jacqueline and all the other characters. But like the entire time around is like, oh, we picked this thing. Like her ass looks great in those pumpkin pants. Or like, we did pick the pants. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, that's a weird line of dialogue, but okay, sure. And those are fun because it adds like an additional little like ending, and each interaction there's 4 options to choose from. 1 will boost your stats. The other 3 will lower. So like if you have 2 boldness, a creative, and a charm, and you pick the charm, you'll lose 2 in the boldness and then 1 in the creativity. And then you get the next question, the same thing. So it is, as a group, you're kind of deciding like who's going to move what. Realistically, it is one person's decision per question, but it is intended to be discussed as a group of like, we're doing a Mad Lib. What word should we pick? So I think that's another fun like multiplayer thing. It is, the solo game is a lot longer this time around, because what it used to be is if you would play alone, you would go into each day and do one thing. You go in like, I'm going to do my thing in the morning, lunch, do my thing at night. Instead, you are taking 4 turns per section. So you yourself are doing, I'm going to do 4 different places, lunch, 4 different places, nighttime, 4 different places. So it is a lot more to do. So if you're like in the spot of, I'm going to sit down and do a quick run, this one currently doesn't offer the same type of quick one you would get in Prom, where it is I'm playing alone, I get like 6 turns. You are playing alone, getting like 24 turns. So it's a lot longer, which I'm not complaining about. I just think it's an important thing. Like if you're playing alone, it is not as short as it once was. So
yeah. I like that actually, because that's one thing I felt when we played it the first game for the book club. That was one of the things that bothered me a little. That the game was over so quickly,
right,
in single player.
Yeah,
so I like that they changed that up.
Yeah, I'm hoping they add an option to go back to the simple one, because like if I'm like, I got 20 minutes before stream, let me knock out a monster Prom run. I can't do that currently. Not that it's a problem that I'm like, oh shoot, I have to play a long game, but we also typically play a 4-player, so I'm used to the length of the game anyway. It's just, you know, something I think is like, ooh, this is how that changed. We should keep in mind on that. But yeah, dude, MonsterCon, great fucking game. I'm glad it's here. I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I get to play it and try and date all these characters now. But speaking of which, we did stream it on Saturday. We're going to try to get back in the routine of doing like once a month, doing like a Monster Prom stream like we used to do. But this weekend, so Sunday, after this episode comes out, I will be on the Hack Recklessly channel. It is myself, LB, our friend Alex, Ian from Tales the Valiant, and currently a 4th person who I don't know who they are, but maybe I'll find out in the coming days. I'm not sure. But we'll be playing MonsterCon on the Hack Recklessly channel, the Twitch channel, I think 8 p.m. on Sunday. So very excited to, I guess, play with a new group. Like, obviously I love playing with my guys, but like seeing the dynamic in another group is going to be really interesting, because I've played this one way for so long and seeing how it changes. So that'll be fun. Plus they're all TTRPG players, so they do voices. So I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be fun, team.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a blast.
It's gonna be great. And with that, hour 41:53, baby. So Tofr, you played another game. What game is that?
Yes, I did. It is called Many Nights a Whisper.
Okay.
I didn't receive a code for this one, but it costs less than $3 right now. So let me tell you, it's a shorter game, which you can expect for that price.
Yeah.
You can finish it in just over an hour, but within that hour is an astounding feat of storytelling, which is no surprise if you consider Selkie Harbor and Deconstruct Team's previous works.
Okay.
These are 2 developers who both excel in like narrative experiences. And this is another one of those experiences. You play as the Dreamer, a chosen child who can fire fireballs from a slingshot. Why would you be able to do this? Well, townsfolk will tell you their wishes, and you get to choose whose wishes you want to have come true.
Ooh.
The catch being, they only come true if you hit the one shot you get at this massive construction way off in the distance. Yeah.
Oh no.
There's so much history in this world. It's based on our modern lives, but with this added religious concept. So the character that you play as, the Dreamer, she lives in a sort of building that feels really classical. Like at first, I thought this was set in like somewhere in history. Yeah. It didn't feel like a modern setting, but then people started talking about the internet and stuff like that. So it is set today. Let me see what I lost my train of thought. So yeah, every 10 years, a new Dreamer will try to make that shot that I mentioned. Some have succeeded, some have failed.
Okay.
The question is, what will you do? Because this one shot that you have to take, this is something you're training for 10 years.
Yeah.
You've been chosen and raised to make this shot.
Damn.
And at the end of the game, you have to take the shot, which is really intense.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
So
But before,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the gameplay loop, right? So I walk in, I'm exploring the world. I like talk to someone. They're like, I really wish I had a taco today. You're like, that's the wish I want to make come true. And then you like,
No, it's you don't actually get to walk around the world. You
Okay.
only get to walk around this small area where you live.
Okay.
And the only person you really talk to is your mentor.
Okay.
So the gameplay loop is basically you start the day talking to your mentor and doing some training shots.
Okay.
As you can see, there's lots of fires. All of those are the ones from the shots that you made.
Yeah.
When you're done practicing, you head inside, have a meal, and then you go to the wishing phase. Now, the way wishes work in this game, people grow their hair long and braid it.
Yeah.
And when they want to make a wish, they put that braid through a hole in the wall, and they tell you about their wish. You can't respond to them. You just listen.
Okay.
Now, if you want to grant that wish, if you make the shot, you have to cut off their hair before they finish the dreamer poem. The dreamer poem is something that you have to say at the end of your wish. And if your hair isn't chopped off before the end of the poem, then your wish isn't going to be made true.
Damn.
There's so much depth to the wishes that people make. Because there's like simple things, like people will wish, there's a person who wishes that their boyfriend was somebody else.
Yeah.
Because the relationship is not working, but they can't bear to hurt that person either, so they just wish that it's become someone else. Then someone else wishes that gender is no longer a thing that people worry about.
Okay.
So there's this wide range of emotions involved.
Yeah.
There's really selfless and really selfish wishes that get made, and you get to choose which wishes you want to have come true if you make that final shot. The thing is, early on in the game, you have a discussion with your mentor where you're like, who am I to decide which wishes are worthy of having them granted? I am not a god. I don't get to choose this. But if you want to make that final shot, you have to agree to some of the wishes, because the braided hair that you cut off is used to make your slingshot stronger so that you can reach further with it.
Okay.
With your shot. So you have to agree to some wishes, and it's up to you to like decide which wishes you make come true. Then the game goes to that final moment, and I don't want to spoil too much.
Sure.
But it's this really great introspection on what it means to like work for something all of your life and then have it happen or not happen. The pressures that come with it, the hopes and dreams for what comes after, the carrying the hopes of an entire people, stuff like that. There's so much to unpack here, and it's all in a game that takes like 70-80 minutes.
Okay.
And it's so good. Like the moment you have to take that final shot, my hands were sweating. I was because you only get one shot. Like during the day you get to do practice shots and you can shoot as many times as you want. But for some reason, this ceremony involves you taking one single shot.
It's the only one that matters.
Yeah.
So like, do you, if you miss the shot, did you just lose the game? Do you start over with new conversations of like, I want this as my wish, and then do it again? Like, is it the 70-80 minutes again? Is it
The experience doesn't change that much if you play it again.
Okay, so it will be the same thing. I just hope I have to play through it again to take a second shot.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It even tells you, like, your mentor says, "Are you ready for this final shot? Because you humans like to use save data, and we will delete your save data when you take the final shot."
Damn. Okay.
if you don't get the ending that you want, you have to play it all over again.
Okay.
But it's so worth it. This is like, this game is gonna be staying with me for a very long time.
Yeah, it looks cool. Yeah. I think we talked about the other week. I think we talked about like upcoming releases, and I think I wish listed it from there. But yeah, this sounds dope. I like the idea. It's the very simple, like, short afternoon game that, like, once upon a time would have been like, this is my weekend let's play. I record the 90-minute video and upload it on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday in 30-minute parts, and then here's the whole let's play. This is what you got. And I'm petrified the idea of, like, I would do a let's play and be like, all right, the final shot, we missed it. Hope you're unsatisfied, team. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like, it sounds wild. It sounds dope.
It is. It really is.
Oh,
It's I love both Selkie Harbor and Deconstruct Team.
Yeah.
But the thing is, even when you love developers, you can, like, accept that they won't, that not everything that they make will be a hit.
Sure.
But this should be a hit, because this is among the best games I've played this year.
It's cool. That looks cool. That's exciting. Yeah. Oh, damn. So many games, team. So many games. Not to plug your channel. This is fucking, just talk about the idea. But yeah, so many games. Yes. All right, 150, 50, bam, boom, releases. Let's go. That's all we've been playing. God, I spelled releases very wrong. There's like 3 extra A's in there. Anyway, let's move on to indie games releasing this week. This is from May 1st to May 7th. We have Despolote on May 1st for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. We have Free Ride on May 1st for PC. We have The Horror of Hyrule on May 1st for PC. We have Subverge on May 1st for PC. We have Maze Mice on May 2nd for PC and Early Access. We have Vellum on May 2nd for PC. That's at version 1.0. We have Spreadsheet on May 5th for PC. We have Drop Duchy. I still don't know if we know how to say that one.
No.
May 5th on PC. We have Best Served Cold on May 5th for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. We have Savara on May 6th for PC. And then we have Deck of Haunts on May 7th for PC. Tofr, any of those screaming for you?
Deck of Haunts is one that I played the demo for that is really fun, because you are the haunted mansion.
Okay.
And also it's a roguelike deck builder, but
fair enough.
And then Drop Duchy is another, or Duchy, or I don't know how to pronounce it.
One of them.
It's another one that I'll be checking out for sure.
Hell yeah.
This one is, let me check. I wishlisted it, and now my Steam is not working for some reason.
Now you're trapped. Now you don't get to see.
Oh, there it is. It's a hybrid roguelike game where you use block dropping mechanics to collect resources, recruit troops to fight against belligerent armies, and let every block shape your realm.
Tetris team.
Basically.
Yeah, I mean, we always mention that one. I forget what it looks like. That I pulled up. I'm like, yes, this one. It does look cool. I know of the list right now. Free Ride is one we saw at I think Wholesome Games, and I was like, oh, it looks really cool. And I started the demo and didn't really stick around for Next Fest, but this one looks great. And then I had early access to Vellum while I was playing it. That one's a really cool, like, co-op roguelike in the, like, Risk of Rain realm, but it's more storybook driven. Like, you're jumping into books and you're completing objectives, fighting the monsters, doing the thing, and, like, it's a very sketchbooky black and white with the colors are added through the spells and the things happening in the world. So that one's really dope. It's a cool vibe if you like the kind of medieval wizard going through storybooks kind of thing. I really dug this one. Vellum's one to check out.
That's the wish list.
Yeah, that was I think Vicarious PR set me up with the key for that one a while back, so that was a cool one. Connor and I got to play a little bit. That and Savara is another one that I don't know that I'm going to immediately jump into, but during Next Fest we talked about it. It was the very Hades-like one with the big bugs and everything. So yeah, if you're like jonesing for more Hades-like roguelikes and you're looking for one, Savara is the one to go for.
Yeah, cool.
Cool indeed. Hour 53:51, baby. Let's go. Timestamps. We love things that didn't work. Indie Spotlight. Tofr, this is the part of the show we talk about our Indie Spotlight, a game that doesn't have enough tension or you keep on your radar, etc., etc. I'm going to talk about Falinere Fantasy, which we played on my stream a little while back. But it is this, it's a game kind of intended for Twitch streams, YouTube streams, or even just Discord calls. But the way it works, it is an 8-player like JRPG where your chat members will get to pick a class. So you start the game, chat gets in, they pick a number between like 1 and 8, and there's the wizard, the barbarian, the, you know, whatever other classes. And then the turn-based part kicks in where your person's like, hey, it's your turn. You type your exclamation point blank. You do A, B, C, D, that picks your attack. You attack the monster. You have the healers like, I'm going to heal, and do, you know, everything plays in. So it is a really interesting idea to have this co-op game that is a very traditional RPG, but it runs on the, like, we have Marbles on Stream, or we have, you know, whatever other chat-based games that streamers play. This one was really great. The developer, I think we interacted on TikTok, mentioned the game, like, this looks dope. We tried it, hung around and chat for a while. I think it's either been busy or you know, doing their thing at the moment, but the game's dope. The game's cool, and I think it's a fun idea. It's still in, like, playtest mode, so you can just request access to the playtest, play it on stream. It's still very minimal of what all can happen in it yet. But it's cool. It's a fresh idea that I think is really going to evolve into something like big and awesome that a lot of streamers will just play with their chats.
That would be cool to see people pick this one up.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, right now it's just it's free. You play the demo for free and get your chat involved, have them pick some classes. There was definitely a learning curve of figuring out how to play the game. And I'm like, chat, I don't know what you have to type. You have to do this? Okay. If the developer didn't show up and say, do this, I'm like, got it. Figured it out. So I'm hoping the Steam page or something has a little more like, this is how game function. Good luck. But, you know, I had a developer in my pocket, so I had a little bit of side note. But, yeah, Falinere Fantasy. It's on Steam. Again, playtest, you go, you hit play now. Pull it up on Steam. Have a good time. Sorry, there's 7 classes. They are the Druid, the Alchemist, the Crystal Smith, the Bard, the Warrior, the Rogue, and the Wizard. Okay. There's your classes.
Nice.
Whoo! What are we at? Hour 56:15, baby. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. Chat, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Playlog Podcast. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment on the video, let me know what you thought. And if you're watching, listening on audio services, be sure to leave that 5-star review. It's very important for the growth of the podcast. It helps us. It takes 5 seconds. If you're listening, you're like, I don't have to. I'm talking to you, fucker. Do it. 5-star review takes a second. Really appreciate it. If you're enjoying the content, if you got 2 hours of us talking about the Thunderbolts and indie games, come on, man. A 5-star review wouldn't hurt you. And then you never got to do it again. Then it's already done, you know? So be a pal. Be a Chad. A good Chad. So for little stinkly dinklies in the internet want to find you, where would they go?
The easiest way to find my stuff is through my link tree, which is Play Nice Kids in one word. Mm-hmm. And also, of course, a shout out to SoManyGames.co.uk, where you can find reviews for the games that we talked about today as well. There
you go. There you have it. I was saying on Instagram, they're always like, check out our post. I'm like, yeah, they did the review, guys. They got it. They did the ding. They got another one. And then, of course, if you guys would have find me, we stream twitch.tv/CGDannyB. The night this episode goes up, we should be doing our May Marbles on Stream video for VIP. Not a video. Fuck me. We're playing Marbles on Stream. Come join and see if you can win. It's all RNG, but it's good. And then, yeah, Saturday is going to be more Expedition 33. Sunday over on LB's channel, we're doing MonsterCon, which I'm very excited for. And then next week, there might be a Monday stream. I might take that to PAX because it's PAX time. So there might just be no streams next week. But there should hopefully still be a podcast, assuming schedule just says we all do the thing. So we should be good. But with that, this is a Wednesday. This has to go out tomorrow, so I got to get editing. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you. Mwah! We'll see you in the next one.